Yay Networks.
You're listening to the Chatty Daddies podcast.
Well, welcome to another episode of the Chatty Daddies.
It's a podcast where three dads lay down some expert knowledge for anyone that needs help in the parenting world.
Now, while we try to give you that expert knowledge, sometimes we require help. And I'm reaching out to you guys because I have a question.
Well, as I was saying it,
You came to the right
realized
place.
I couldn't hear the sarcasm in my voice as I was saying it. Like, I was trying to be a little sarcastic. Like, I don't know anything.
I fully believe it. I fully believe we're experts.
What's your question?
So, my son's 9, and we were out this weekend. We're looking for football game pants. You know, football season's here, and we got to find them as game pants. Those are the ones that are shiny.
What color?
They're black.
What color? White? Black.
Yeah,
Cool.
we need black ones, Nick, and they have been impossible. I mean, Kason and I have been on journeys the last 3 weekends trying to find these pants, and they're sold out everywhere. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic. I don't know if it's because more kids are playing football, or I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, and black's the go-to color now.
Yeah, a lot of teams wear black, you know.
Used to be white, now black.
So if you're going to start a team, I definitely maybe do blue, you know, maybe do some red, and you'll have a little bit better
Gray?
luck. Gray's good. Yeah, I don't see a lot of gray teams out there, or at least with gray pants. We wear a gray jersey, but that's not what I'm asking. I've started noticing I was getting some looks from other dads and kids. And here's the thing. Here's a little background on my son. He's a cuddly guy. I think he takes after me. He loves touch. He loves affection. He still cuddles with me on the couch like if he was 2 years old. You know, that hasn't stopped yet, which I love, man. I still kiss my son, dude. I love that man. But I started noticing when we were in the store, Kason in public places reaches and holds my hand. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, I know that doesn't seem like it's a bad thing. I hope Davis still does that, Nick. You don't want to lose that man.
Yes,
and
does.
Quaid's going to be doing that, Trey. But I don't see anything wrong with it until this weekend when I was walking and I caught a guy give me a look and then shook his head at me.
Are you sure that happened? You're sure. You're not just kind of feeling weird about it yourself, and you're inflating what happened to be like you're insecure about it. So you're now like, does that guy look at me weird?
No, because here's the thing. I'm not insecure about it. It wasn't until this happened, and then I started looking around and seeing other kids his age, and they're not holding Dad's hand. You know, they're running around being idiots and grabbing stuff the way 9-year-old boys should be. But he absolutely looked at me, stared at me, and I think it was the moment I realized it was the hand holding, Trey, was because he glanced down. Mm-hmm. He glanced at the hands, and as he was walking past us, shook his head. Maybe I'm looking too deep into this. Maybe he shook his head at something else, but it was just the timing of it. To where for me it struck. Kason didn't notice it, thank goodness, because I don't want it to stop, man. I really I'm starting to see the mortality when it comes to my kids needing me and wanting to be held by me and hug me, and
that countdown clock is running out. You need to soak it up as much as you can.
Absolutely, and I don't want to push it, but when is that a move I'm supposed to make, or do I wait for him?
I think he should make that call for himself. Kason should.
I'm going to go against the grain here.
Why?
He is going to have a relationship with kids outside of you being you standing right next to him. Mm-hmm. Kids are just terrible people. They're just bad people. They beat me down when I was a kid, and I think that if you know that that's something they are going to make fun of him about, and I'm not saying it is, maybe the kids are understanding and they're like, oh, that's cool that you do that with your dad. If that's the case and I'm wrong, that would be a horrible thing to break this bond that y'all have. But if you know that he's going to get made fun of, I think that it is your job to course correct him, even though it's something that you love doing as well.
But You're speaking on behalf of, maybe a kid from his school sees us at this store or whatever.
Right.
That's what you're thinking about.
And then at school, you're like, oh, Kaysen holds hands with his dad, so why don't you just go hold hands with your dad or whatever? And then now Kaysen feels bad about it.
Right. And that's usually what ends up making kids stop is when they get made fun of. But I guess nobody has said anything. And it's just, dude, it makes me happy that he still reaches out and grabs my hand, and I get it. I know kids are ruthless, and they could make fun of him for that, but I also want to teach him who cares what kids think.
Right.
I don't want him to dictate his life. I know
he cares.
I'm sure he cares, but
you care what people think.
We all care what people think, but at the same time, are we going to stop doing something we truly enjoy and love because other people don't think it's cool, or other people think it's feminine, or other people think it's not as masculine as that? That's why I'm having trouble with this.
I think in the
world, I'm wondering if there's some sort of like middle ground between the two approaches, between shutting it off completely preemptively or letting it run its course and he just stops holding your hand whenever that happens. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just like maybe just judge it by time and place wherever you are kind of thing, and then maybe somehow he'll just decide on his own, but then you can also kind of say like, okay, green light, this is a comfortable place. There's not other kids here. We can hold hands here or something like that. Maybe.
Or on the street,
maybe
too.
There's some in between.
The parking lot. You definitely should hold hands in the parking lot. The cars come in and all that. But the reason I think it even hits closer home to me, and I've maybe touched on this podcast. I remember the day my mom told me no more kisses. No more like when she shut me down when I went in, and I was 5. I remember I was 5 years old, and she shut me down when I went in for a little mommy kiss with her, and that was the first time I felt crazy rejection, like a little bit of heartache. I remember when she stopped holding my hand and feeling like, oh, why? What did I do?
I remember why?
No, she said no. You can walk.
I think that there is probably some progress we've made in the children's psychology that grown-ups should explain why.
Yeah,
they're cutting off an important part of a relationship.
My mom was also a very young mom, and obviously was still learning as she went. But yeah, so I remember those moments, and I think it might have stressed our relationship a little as I got older, because I think I held on to that. So that's what I don't want to do to Kaysen. That's why I feel like I'm just going to hold my dude's hand until he finally says, hey, somebody made fun of me at school. And then at that point I could be like, yeah, you know what, Tom, whatever. And then
you could maybe bring it up with Kaysen and be like, hey, dude, I love holding your hand, or I love, giving you kisses and stuff when you leave. Like, I'm fine doing it as long as you're fine doing it.
I love that. I love bringing him in. Like, I mean, he is a person. He has a say in it, too.
He has choices. Tom Brady, remember Tom Brady, the quarterback for the Buccaneers? He got destroyed on social media because in one of his videos a couple years ago, he gave his son a kiss goodbye. And his son at the time, I think, was around Kaysen's age. He was probably 9 or 10 years old. And he just got destroyed on social media. And I love how he responded to it. He did not care one bit. He said, I love my kids, and I'm going to show them love and affection until they tell me what they like and what they don't like. Yeah. And I loved that. That's why I try to model myself after Tom Brady when it comes to being a dad.
In my, circles, talking to dudes, not having a kid, Tom Brady, what are you doing, dude? You can't kiss your kids on the lips like that. That's disgusting. Yep. Like, the kid's going to be all weird now. Like, everybody's going to make fun of him. It's all messed up. You're doing things wrong. But now, today, with an 11-month-old kid, if Quaid ever stops kissing me, or I know he will, it's going to break my heart.
Yeah,
it will.
It's an unbelievable change that has happened in my brain, because I was right there with all the haters, all the trolls, just talking crap, and now I go, oh my God, one day he's going to stop.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the hardest thing. Ugh. So, I mean, I think that you should do the hand-holding as long as possible. I just don't want Kaysen to get made fun of, because I do know that really gets carried with you for years.
It can. I would love to hear from you, chatty daddies and mommies on the email, if you want to, so we could answer these little on the next podcast maybe. But what were you going to say, Nick?
Well, I was just saying, like, I know people probably don't always love hearing a podcast or a TV show where people, like, preach to them and tell them how to think or whatever. But, like, if anything that we're doing here, I hope we can somewhat point out the level of just absurd, just, like, masculinity, like levels of masculinity that just like don't really matter anymore.
Right.
I'm not like the super manliest guy. I played sports, whatever, they were fine, but like I don't know, there's just so much stuff that guys do because it's just been that way for generations and generations, and it's like, no dude, it's cool to like hold your kid's hand. Like it's not gay,
right,
or whatever that someone would think. It's just like, man, to say that, to hear you say that and be like, well, there's nothing wrong about that at all. And it's kind of one of those things, like Trey was saying, like, it's probably not until you're in that situation,
right,
that you really think. Or if you have been in that situation, maybe it's a dad who's looking you up and down saying, like, what a lame dad for holding his kid's hand. Maybe he's almost jealous at some point, like, man, I didn't have that with my kid. And here I am trying to push sports on my kid, and that's not helping.
And remember, now Casey and I say he's 9 years old, but he's taller than you, and you guys have seen him. This man, Kaysen is taller than the average 9-year-old, so I would say he's more in the height of a 12 to 13-year-old. And I think that maybe had a little to do with the dad. So at the same time, I didn't want to turn and be like, "Hey, what's your blinking problem, bro?" I didn't want to do that. That's obviously not the best way to go about it. But I had to think. I'm like, okay, he probably thinks Kaysen's like 12 or 13. Also, maybe is a little more masculine than I am. I lean more towards the lovey-dovey than I would masculinity. So I know
that I'm pretty sure I've told this story before, and I'll probably say it again. But one time I was in high school, and we were probably 15 or 16, and a friend of mine, my friend was driving, but his dad was in the car because, like, I don't think he had his license yet, like his learner's permit or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went to the movies. He and his dad got out of the truck to switch spots, and he and his dad kissed on the lips. We were 15 or 16, and this was like, probably was and still is like one of the coolest guys in our grade. Like, he was a cool dude, football player dude, like super macho guy, and he did it, and I thought it was weird because I don't come from the lovey-dovey. I don't remember kissing my dad. I don't remember holding my dad's hand a lot or anything.
Yeah.
So it was just so weird, but then I saw him do it, and I was like, oh, I guess maybe that's fine.
That's what cool kids do.
Cool. Yeah,
so
it was just really weird.
how many of your friends probably went home that day and tried to kiss their dads on the lips? They're like, hey, what are you doing?
Right. And the way they did it, like, they weren't trying to hide it from me. They weren't trying to hide the peck from the friends that were standing across the street waiting for us. It was just a very new experience.
I don't have a scheduled visit with my father on the books right now. Like, I'm gonna see him sometime in the next couple weeks, I'm sure. Nick, JC,
Trey, listen, in for a kiss.
No, all three of us have to record. Just start recording on your phone and then be like, "Hey, Dad," and go in for a kiss on the lips and see what happens. No,
bro, I never
can't.
I never got a kiss. I never even got a kiss from my dad on the cheek.
Me neither.
I'm going cold turkey in there, bro.
Me too. Come on.
And look at us. We're over here saying it's fine, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we get challenged to do it. It's like, no way. So the last time on the podcast, we talked a little bit about Trey and Quaid going into surgery. The OR. Going under, and because he was getting a little operation, and so I know a lot of people are interested to hear an update. Fill us in.
Well, it's hard to even call it a surgery. The only reason I think they do is because they have to put him under a general anesthetic and actually knock him all the way out. But seriously, it took from the time that we handed Quaid over to the time they brought him back, it was 12 minutes. We timed it because I was interested to see how long it would take. The doctor actually came back out 8 minutes later to talk to us, and he was just being woken up from the anesthesia for the other 4 or 5 minutes.
Did Quaid seem scared at all when he was going in there? Like,
okay.
What's going on?
So they give him this stuff called silly juice, and I'm too busy thinking about the name silly juice to hear what they actually put in there. But it made him just high as a kite, and it was hilarious. It's, if you ever can, make sure I want you to know that this should only be done in a hospital with a doctor's supervision. But if you get to see a baby all drugged out on doctor prescribed, correct dosage stuff. It is adorable. I would rub his little head, and I always rub his head and tell him, "Oh, I love your perfect little baby head." And then this time, whenever I'd rub it, he'd go. It was adorable, and actually, I think that's what helps calm the parents' nerves as well. It's like, oh, he's fine. He's having the time of his life. And then when he gets brought back to you after those 12 minutes, it was hell. He was so mad. They were trying to tell us that it was like being hungover, like the worst hangover of your life. No. And so he has no idea what's going on. He's just like, I haven't had food. First of all, he had to get up to the hospital at 5:40 in the morning. He's normally ready for his food at 6 a.m. Surgery not until 7:10, and then we're hanging out waiting to make sure that all of the medication wears off and nothing happens, complications after the fact. So it's now 7:40, and he's like, I am so messed up. I've got a headache. I haven't had food. You people woke me up early. What is going on? So he was freaking out basically until we got home, and then shoved a bottle in his mouth, put on the Paw Patrol movie, and then we just kind of sat there, and he fell asleep and took a 4-hour nap. When he woke up, after you when you're hungover, you want to take a long nap. Yep. He woke up feeling much better, a little more milk, a little more snacks and whatnot, and he was ready to rock. So it was seriously, he was fine by noon.
He got ear tubes, so I think you told us last time they don't stay in as long as I thought they did.
No, and I have heard of people having to get second and third rounds of ear tubes, so his should fall out by the time he is 18 months old. So he's got these for like 7 months. And the reason that you want to have ear tubes for ventilation is because his ear canals, I've said this before, his ear canals are like not slanted down to where stuff can drain, and the tubes make it to where the ears can drain, the liquid can drain without just sitting there all gross and pussy.
Oh.
Isn't that so impressive, though, to see the doctor walk out 8 minutes later, like... To us, it's a medical miracle. To him, that's just his everyday life, and he's good at it. And it's a quick snip, here, there, and we're done.
And he's probably going to do like 30 of them that day.
He did 8. He did 8 that morning.
Wow.
It was but he was on the golf course by noon. By the time Quaid was feeling better, he was already on the third hole.
Man, I think I got my
just
son.
Made so much money that day, dude. He made a killing.
I think I got my son on the track to maybe wanting to become a doctor because it kind of runs in my family, right? Like both my grandparents were. I got some uncles. It runs in the family, and he goes, Papa, I'm just not into this whole going to school 5 days a week and waking up early. And I said, I know, dude. I was like, that's why you got to find a job where you can have 4-day weekends if you want. He goes, what kind of job is that? And I said, let me tell you something here. Dentist, doctor, those guys take Fridays and Mondays off if they want to, if they have their own practice. And he goes, what? He goes, I guess I'm a doctor then. So that's where we're going, guys.
Yeah. You better not have a tooth emergency on a Friday because it'll be Monday or Tuesday before the doctor will see you. Oh, it's so frustrating. Trey, how did you like the Paw Patrol movie?
I thought it was fantastic. I love everything Paw Patrol
great.
has to offer.
It was so good.
The whole meaning, the whole point behind Paw Patrol is no job too big, no pup too small. And I realize that sounds cheesy and like a little kid thing, but if you break that down, every single person on this planet can take something from the phrase no job too big, no pup too small, and I love it.
Yep.
Yeah. It was so cool. So I actually took my son Davis. He's going to turn 5 here in about a month. I took him to see Paw Patrol, and it was his first time going to a movie theater. He was very excited all weekend. We told him that we were going to go do it, and we've definitely learned our lesson several times, but we still have not followed through. We should not tell our kids things far in advance that they're going to do something, because my son literally will ask if we tell him something we're going to go see Paw Patrol on the weekend. He'll ask us 20 times a day until we get to it. Seriously, he really will.
Yeah,
that's
all kids.
Constant.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, anyways, we went and...
what does he know?
Long story short...
What does he know about
what?
A movie theater?
Well, we've driven past one before, and he sees how big they are. Same thing with like apartment buildings. If he sees a really giant building, he's very confused by like storage buildings.
Yeah.
I kind of say like, well, it's kind of a place where you can rent a big closet if you don't have enough closets in your house. He's very confused by that. But he just knows that they have really big TVs there and you can go watch movies.
Gotcha.
And so he was very excited to go. We went. And we went to CVS first, got some candy to sneak in, which is very important. And he had sour bright crawlers for the first time. That was my candy. And I was like, hey, do you want to try some? And he said, sure. I didn't think he was going to like it, but he freaking loved it. Dude, I'm telling you, my son ate probably half of a large popcorn. He ate almost an entire box of peanut M&Ms and like half of my bag of bright crawlers. Dude, he was so sugared up, and I think that made him pretty cranky afterwards.
Yep.
But he loved the movie. Absolutely loved it. It was incredible. I was nervous because like I love movies. I'm a big movie buff. Like movies like mean a lot to me, and just like going to the movies was always a very important part of my life. And so he absolutely loved it. He thought the sound was really loud at first. He didn't know why they turned the lights off.
Yeah.
But he really loved the movie trailers. He got to see movie trailers for movies like Sing 2 is coming out, and he loves the first Sing. And so he was surprised by that. But yeah, the new Paw Patrol movie is legit.
So,
like, it looks different than the cartoon. Like, it's just the animation is different.
Yeah.
It looks way better.
Higher class, more
and it was
3D.
just really great.
So
Yeah.
I watched it on Paramount Plus at home, and you watched it in a movie theater. Was the
Yes.
sound? I know you've said before Davis doesn't like loud noises. Was it like over the top explosions and you could hear fire and all that?
You know, it was. They had it louder than I thought they would have a kids movie.
Yeah.
Just because I've been to some kids movies before, like especially early in the morning and stuff, and the sound won't be quite as loud.
Right.
But anyways, it was fine. But it was a little louder than I thought it was going to be. But my son was fine with it.
And you may not know this. Nick, you worked at a movie theater, right?
No, I didn't.
No,
I
you
worked at Blockbuster though.
Well, they are able to adjust the volume in each movie
Really?
theater. Yeah, it's not
Whoa.
just like a set standard. They tell you, hey, you should put it at this volume, but they have the ability to manipulate it like you would on your TV if you have a surround sound at home.
Interesting. See, that's good to know.
I have spoken to a manager before because the sound was off. Like, I
course
think I
you
was seeing a James Bond movie, and the volume was really low. So, like, we're seeing all these explosions, and it was like, and everyone around it can like tell it was just horrible. So yeah, I went and they fixed it. So that was nice.
Like in the middle of the movie, they fixed it. They turned it up and did whatever. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So eventually, 2 minutes after I tell someone outside, the volume turns up like really loud out of nowhere. So
And
I've been to some movies before, like early in the morning, where they'll still have the lights on. Have you ever
Yes.
been to one of those movies?
That happened.
And it's for like people with kids. And they still turn. I thought they would keep the lights on, but they turned the lights off, and that was fine.
When we went
but
to-
my son, we were talking about your son being holding your hand. My son got in my lap and cuddled with me during the movie. He's not a cuddle kid, and so that was really sweet. So overall, great experience.
My kids still do that. They still crawl in my lap. And it gets to the
So
point
cute.
where, get off my lap, dude. I'm trying to watch the movie over here. Your first movie experience with Davis actually is way better than mine was with Kaysen, because I took Kaysen to see Monsters, Inc. When they were in college. I forgot the name, University or Monsters
University.
That was his first movie ever. And like Davis, doesn't like loud noises, so we go into this theater.
There's some loud noises in that movie.
Lots of loud noises. And we go into the theater, we sit down, lights go off, he gets scared. He automatically wants to be on my lap. Then the previews come on. He ate all his candy during the previews.
Yeah.
Previews end, and he looks at me and goes, all right, all done. And he thought the previews was a movie.
Yeah.
So he wanted to leave at the previews. I said, no, there's the whole movie. Like, we got to watch the whole movie. He was 3 or 4. And he goes, more? So he sits down, and about 15 minutes later, he goes, okay, I want to go now. And we left. We ended up, because I was not gonna ruin everybody else's movie going experience, because he wanted to leave, so
Yeah.
we left.
Yeah, my son was eating so much candy and popcorn at once. Like, seriously, he became that zombie that's not looking at the tub of popcorn and just shoveling in his mouth. But I kept like moving the popcorn over, and he didn't understand why we needed to take like snack breaks, and we needed like, hey, breathe, drink some water for a second,
Right.
buddy. He didn't get that.
Pace yourself, bro. You got to teach them to pace before they go to college, because then it's going to be a whole thing.
Well, I think, boys, that does it for this episode of the Chatty Daddies, don't you think?
I had fun.
We answered some questions. We had a successful movie going. So I'd say that was a great episode, personally.
Successful surgery.
Yes.
Be sure that you subscribe to the Chatty Daddies wherever you're listening to us right now, and make sure you leave us a good review, leave us some 5 stars, and we'll see you next week.
The Chatty Daddies Podcast.